Hi everyone, so this is tutorial sheet 3 question 8. Somebody said I should also help you guys to answer question 8.3. Though have delayed, it's been long since they sent this question. Sorry for the delayment. So this is how you answer the question. So you first have to change this number. If you want, you can simplify this number using the rules of complex numbers, or the other way you can do this, you can first deal with the numerator and the denominator and then come and divide them using the Moivre. So you're going to have something like this: negative root 2, then plus I root 2, then over, sorry for that, so over the root of 2 plus I root 2. So we multiply everything with the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate of the denominator there will be the root of 2, then minus I, the root of 2. We close the brackets like that. Same applies to the numerator there. You do the same, multiply it with the conjugate, then you raise everything to the power 6. So from there what you do is just a matter of multiplying there. Negative root 2 times root 2 there, you get negative 2, and then negative root 2 times negative root 2, you get this will be negative times negative to be a positive 2i. So you're going to get a positive 2i, and then this the root of 2i multiplied by the root of 2i, you're going to have a positive 2i again. Then lastly you multiply this I root 2 times negative I root 2. So I times I, you get your negative 1. Negative 1 times this negative which is there, you get a positive. And then root 2 times root 2, you get your 2. And then everything divided by, this is the denominator there is the difference of 2 squares. So which implies that we're going to have, it's the difference of 2 squares, which implies that we're going to have the root of 2 and then squared minus I root 2 squared, and then remember everything to raise them to the power 6. So there you can proceed now by saying negative root 2 plus root 2 there, you get a 0 as your real part, and then you have root 2i plus root 2i, you get 4i, also not root but 2i plus 2i, you get 4i, and then you divide everything by 2 root 2 squared, you get your 2. And then the same applies to this part. I squared, you get your negative 1. Negative 1 times negative outside there, you get your positive. And then this root 2 squared, you get your 2. So this will be equal to 4i. Of course, don't forget to put your power 6 there. So this is going to be 4i, and then this is going to be 0 plus 4i. So I don't know how I should write this. Okay, let me just delete this. Okay, so we're saying this is going to now be equal to 0 because we know that when you add 2 plus 2 here you get 4. 0 divided by 4 you get 0. So let me write it just properly here. You get 0, and then 4 divided by 4 you get I. So you are going to have this complex number raised to power 6. So they want us to leave it in this form. So the best I would advise you to do is to convert this into polar form. So how do you do that? You first find the argument of that complex number. The argument is just the angle, which is so I'll say the argument of this complex number 0 plus I will be equal to the tan inverse of, it's going to be equal to the tan inverse of y, which is 1 over 0, which is the tan inverse of undefined. So we know to say tan inverse of undefined is nothing but equal to 90 degrees. So so they are saying, so this is 90 degrees. So from there we need to check where the quadrant this angle lies by plotting this complex number here. So we have 0 comma I, so it's somewhere there, so meaning it's in the first quadrant. This is the imaginary axis. Yeah, this is the imaginary axis, and then this is the real axis, and then this is our 0 there. Of course, don't forget to put this if you are drawing it for somebody to mark. Yeah, so this complex number lies in the first quadrant, so I'm going to use the same 90. And then apart from that, we can also say we find the magnitude of that complex number. So the magnitude of 0 plus I will just be equal to the square root of 0 squared plus 1 squared, which gives you just 1. So I mean the magnitude of that complex number is 1. So now we can write the complex number to be, so I'll write my complex number, this 0 plus I to the power 6 to be equal to, this is going to be equal to the cos of 90, cos 90, and then plus, of course don't forget to put the magnitude this side, which is a 1, cos 90 plus I sin 90. So this is going to be sin 90, and raise it to the power 6. And according to the Moivre's theorem, when you have such a complex number, it means that you first have to raise the magnitude this side by 6. You also multiply now the arguments by 6. So 90 multiplied by 6, you're going to have your answer to be 540. So 90 multiplied by 6, the answer is 540. Then this is going to be plus I sin 540. So this will now be equal to, so cos 540, you're saying we leave it in that form. So meaning cos 540 is Yeah, so when you use compound angle formulas, you discover that cos 540 is nothing but negative 1. Or if you don't want to use compound angle formulas, you can use the terminal angles. This will give you negative 1, and then sine 540 is a 0. So when you add negative 1 plus I0, this is, this is actually your final answer, since they wanted you to leave it in the form which is x plus iy. So this is your complex number which they wanted. So thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure that you don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Then if you have any questions, any concerns, you can send them to this WhatsApp line on the screen, and then I'll be there to respond. See you in the next tutorial video.